Welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today I am recording in my truck. It's another truck episode, and in fact, this might be the situation for the next handful of episodes. There's a lot going on at my parents' house right now. There's a lot of people coming in and out, and there's some things we're going through as a family. And I'll talk a little bit more about in the next episode. However, this is why I'm in my truck. Whether I am parked in the driveway or, as for those of you watching the video version of this, you can see I'm at a local shopping center. This is really the best situation that I can find to record in, because there's not going to be any sort of quiet. And I know this is not quiet with all the cars going by, but there's definitely going to be no quiet in the house over at my parents'. Today in this episode, I wanted to talk about the potential of maybe losing my streak here with the show. I've published an episode every day for 262 days. This is episode 262, with, of course, my goal being hitting 365, right? I know that, I'm very much set on that goal, and I want to stick to it as much as possible, but I also recognize that with everything going on right now with my family, that I may not be able to do it, right? As much as I want to put in the work, there is a pretty good likelihood that I won't be able to get an episode out every day in the coming week. So I just kind of wanted to address that part of it in today's episode. After all this time, I'm at 262, almost 265, which is, 100 days away, 100 episodes away from my goal. I'm so close, what's it going to be like losing that streak, right? Like after all this work that I put in, to have it cut off abruptly. Well, first of all, doesn't mean I'm going to stop the show, right? The show is still definitely going to go on. It's just that I don't know that I'll be able to keep up the daily episodes during this time in our family's lives. Also, too, just because I skip a day here and there, it doesn't mean that it's the end of everything, right? It doesn't mean that I'm starting over. It's just that I lost a day. Sure, on platforms like Facebook and things like that, I may not have that title that I just recently acquired of rising creator. I may lose the streak of increased visibility. I've got increased visibility on Facebook for 110, 120 days. I may lose that, but again, it doesn't mean that if I lose it, I have to start over. Sure, it might take a couple of weeks to build it back up again and to get into that streak, but I'm in my content flow, right? I have my system, I have my structure put together, that it's not going to be any issue getting back on track. And on top of that, it's not that I'm losing progress, because I also have acquired all these skill sets around content creation, around marketing, that it's not all for nothing, right? It's not all for nothing. The other thing I also really kind of wanted to talk about, and this will lead into the next episode, is that there's just more important things than content creation, and there's more important things than work, right? I know I've talked about this before in past episodes, where we always have to remember why we're working so hard in the first place, right? Why we're grinding, why we're showing up every day to produce and publish content and to do our marketing. We can't forget that. Right? We can't forget that. We can't forget those important things, and understanding that, and this is very relevant for me, in my career, is making sure that there are those boundaries around work, so that I'm not always working, right? So that I'm not always turned on and grinding out and thinking about the next thing, because I want to also be present in my life for everything else. And most everything else, which is majority, is things that matter more than my work, than my content creation, than my publishing, than my marketing, right? There are things, and I know, there are things, there are those things for you as well. If you're listening to this, I want you to always remember what those things are and why you're working so hard in the first place, and to draw the boundaries of when to stop working, when to turn off, and to know that what those things are matter more than getting a piece of content out today. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not that I'm going to lose, have to start over. It's not that I'm, going to be starting from scratch. I've made a lot of progress, and I'm okay with that. Losing a day or two here and there isn't going to be the end of the world for my marketing. It's not going to be the end of the world for my content. My audiences will still have plenty to consume and to listen to, and even to go back and watch pieces of content that they may not have watched or listened to before, right? Because I got so much out there. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm totally okay with it, and I'll get into talking more about like not what is happening specifically in with my family right now, but the boundary of what to share on your social media. So tune in tomorrow for that episode. But I think the main thing is I want to thank you for your patience in allowing me to record in my truck and any potential background noise that might entail. And I want to let you know how much I appreciate that level of support from each and every one of you that are listening to this. Okay. All right. So that's it. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.